Out this fistful of floppy disks. I've had a fistful of floppy in my time. Oh, wacka, 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 wacka. Keep the wacka, 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 wacka. I want them to know I knew it was crap.
Right, well, we know what we're cutting out of the interview anyway, so... Hello and welcome to Gaming Talk with Antstream. I'm TristaBytes and today I have with me the awesome Robertron, otherwise known as John Robertson. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm very, very good. I thought that I would make this interview, well, awkward to start with by wearing your face on my T-shirt. So...
that does not make this awkward for me at all. There's nothing I like more than seeing myself.
That's quite handy. I should have just put a mirror just off camera here.
Oh yeah, that works. I'm like a narcissist and a budgie combined.
A comedian then?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, basically. Well, basically a comedian, which is horrible to say of a person. He has no other levels to him.
You could be a... No, you're just a comedian. Sorry, I can't.
What is this? This is very upsetting.
This character assassination brought to you by Antstream.
I'm glad that you were able to find some character of me. I'll speak to my therapist for crap like this.
Right, well, we know what we're cutting out of the interview anyway. So, you are a comedian. You've also done some acting. You've done some voiceover stuff. You've done everything, basically, including inventing your own live-action video game.
Oh, yeah, the dark room. The dark room's a lot of fun. I jump around, I scream at people, I wear a lot of leather. It's a really good excuse to behave very badly for money. It's good.
It must be nice to have found a way to get all of your sort of stress of life out by yelling at audiences that you'd like them all to die whilst they pay you for it.
Oh, that's exactly right. Other men my age get drunk and do this for free in bars by punching people, but I've made it entertainment, folks. Yeah. Take that mental illness and monetize it. Yes.
And of course, you've worked into that a love of computer games by basing the whole thing, or the excuse for the whole shouting at the audience thing, on computer games. So I'm assuming you grew up playing computer games. This is something that's been with you for a while. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, I was not one of those Australians who liked the sun. I don't know if you can tell from looking at me, but yeah, like I was playing on anything that I could find, and we didn't know the names of these things, so it would kind of filter down like, oh, this is a 486, this is a Pentium 1, you know, or this level of extreme excitement. And what does that mean? It's like, well, the hard drive's not big enough for it to have all of Quake on it, you know.
You can only play Quake one disc at a time.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, the joy of discs, you know, like somebody saying we're going to play Monkey Island, then bringing out this fistful of floppy disks. I've had a fistful of floppy in my time. Anyway, oh, wacka, 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 wacka. Anyway, if you keep that in, keep the wacka, 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 wacka. I want them to know I knew it was crap. Right.
That adds to the quality of it, I feel. Like commit to the bit.
Yeah, like all sorts of things. I've got a memory of probably the first computer game I ever played was I was like packed off into a room and they were like, here, have a go at this, and it was what I realised later was the New Zealand story.
Ah, it's a good game.
Yeah, it's a terrific game. I mean, it's so cute. The little kiwi and the
fly around, you shoot people in the face.
Yeah, except it's unforgiving as hell.
People with their little balloons.
You'd never do that if you're bloody 7. And you play it? I was looking at this thing because I thought it would be like the Ninja Turtles on the TV, you know, like when...
Yeah, that's what I think when I look at a cute little bird walking around. I think, yeah, that's a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, I think a teenager should really come and kick the crap out of it. That's what I think all the time. But no, I thought that I would win because that's what happened in cartoons is like the good guys always won. And then this thing just punished me relentlessly.
I like it. Your childhood trauma is New Zealand story didn't let me win.
Oh, now there'll be a bunch of people going, well, that explains the problem between those two countries.
You started off playing that. What was your first console that you owned?
Oh, I owned a Mega Drive. I owned a Mega Drive 2.
I like how many people I've interviewed so far whose first console they owned was a Mega Drive.
Oh.
Mine was also a Mega Drive 2.
Yeah.
The best one. It's like a sports car.
Yeah, it's so sleek. So sleek and black and oh yeah, and it came with Sonic 2 and it came with Toe Jam and Earl.
I didn't get Toe Jam.
Well, Toe Jam and Earl was great because let's put it this way: you can play that, you can finish it, and then only years later do you wake up and go, "That was an RPG." Wait a minute, hang on, leveling up. When you start off as a wiener and you're a funk lord by the end of it.
I like how you get more Australian the more surprised you are.
High-pitched is not necessarily Australian. All right, apples and pears, bottle and glass. How are you there? Oh, never had an emotional connection to my children.
that supposed to be a British impersonation?
No, that was a Cockney. I don't know if they qualify as being part of the rest of the country, do they?
I don't know if that impersonation
Boiling glass.
counts as being part of any of the country. You normally do a British accent so well.
Well, no. What I do is I do a British accent badly, but it's one of those ones that you've all been trained to listen to, so you accept it. That's right. Pay attention to me, because I'm better than you. Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something very much like that, in fact. With a bit of that thrown in.
Yeah.
And then lots
That's because I'm getting away with it when I do it. It's funny. Yeah.
I like that. You're on stage just being like, I'm getting away with this.
Oh, endlessly. Like, well, look, I mean, anyone making a career out of their interests is really, doing fine. You have cheated society. We are outrageous freaks that people are happy to be like, yeah, keep doing that. Good on you. So yay.
I like that you say we in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being called out.
I was talking to me.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
That does happen constantly. I'm on Twitch. I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah, same here. It's a good way of kind of legitimizing that practice.
It really is. Somebody said to me, they were like, how do you tell the difference between like a live gig and like doing comedy on Twitch? And it's like, well, at a live gig, everybody laughs and they clap and they stand up. And on Twitch, the chat moves real fast. Like, we did it. We did it! Even though it took me 6 months to figure out that was laughing. I just thought it was a bunch of people going, I don't know. Being cynical. And I just kept screaming, you cynical bastards, over and over. And then people were like, why is he angry? We're laughing at his jokes. What does he want? It's like, I don't know. And again, to therapy.
At least you have recognised that. That is the most important part.
Yeah, it's very important when a comedian recognises laughter as a positive response.
So, segueing neatly with no segue whatsoever back to something vaguely resembling a sense. The Darkroom is a live-action video game. You stand on stage, you shout at people. We have established various psychological and worrying reasons as to why you do that. But thankfully, the show is very funny, so that's working out quite neatly. So, could you tell me, rather than trying to intimidate the audience?
What do you mean, trying?
I mean, that was me being polite.
Yeah.
Why did you want to make a live-action video game specifically? How did it start?
Okay. Well, the best possible way. Like I was performing at an anime convention, and if you know anything about cons and you know anything about anime people,
One of them.
very loud, very excitable, and very passionate. And I started doing like a little 5-minute routine about how crap old video games were. Where I'm like, you're weak to find yourself in a dark room. And to my astonishment, the 1,000 people in that theatre started playing along with a game that didn't exist. And so off the back of that, I was like, well, this is good. You got to lean into these things. And then I made a little YouTube game, and then that worked. And then a friend of mine who's very smart went, you could do that as a live show. We'll just build you a mapping tool. I took that to the Edinburgh Fringe, and then that, just worked really well. And that's just been like a huge part of my career for a decade now. It's 10 years old. It's terrific.
It's like a child that never grows up.
Yeah, it's
just
wonderful.
Gets more violent.
Yes. Yeah, like I've had, I go around the world and like people think my name is Darkroom, which I don't mind.
Or Darren.
Yeah, I get a lot of Darren, Darren, which is really fun. Like I'll be down the street in Manchester, and what's really nice is because the people who do it too, they're really lovely. So what happens is like I'll have like nice women go past and go, Darren, and I'll turn and be like, hey, wave, and then they always tweet me afterwards and go, oh, hey, real sorry that I yelled Darren at you in the street. It's like, it's not the worst thing anyone's yelled at me in the street. It's wonderful.
Yes, I should probably clarify that your name is not Darren.
No, not at all.
And in fact, everyone in the audience names is Darren.
Yeah, the player character is Darren, and that's just a nice thing to do. It started off originally because I didn't want to remember everyone's name, and then like about 10 minutes after that, I was like, oh, that'll be really good if that's just what everyone was called. And so, yeah, and then now a huge part of the darkroom when people come and play, even though it's a big, like, riotous show, people are picking options off and having beans thrown at them and stuff, you know, is that there's a huge swathe of people who are in the middle going, who is Darren? Why is Darren there? And these are good, important questions to ask.
They are. Who am I? How did I get here? Why is this man shouting at me to die? Why am I in this dark room?
This is not my
Why
beautiful
is
house.
Darren?
This is not my beautiful wife.
No, I asked myself that one quite a lot. And why is my name Darren is the other thing that happens. I was YouTuber Darren.
Yes.
Because I was mostly on YouTube at the time.
Yep.
And you gave me an empty can of Pepsi and told me to make a disappointing unboxing video out of it.
Yes! Bang!
I was not gifted a flamboyant potato.
Yes, that's what we call a pineapple in the show. That's a lovely.
Which has become
fun
such
thing
a thing. People will
yeah.
come onto my Twitch channel,
Yeah.
and any time I talk about pineapple on pizza, because I'm that kind of terrible person who likes to start that argument as often as possible, people will start saying, I don't know what a pineapple is. I think you mean a flamboyant potato. And then your emotes will appear in my Twitch channel.
Oh, good
And your
on them.
face,
Oh, good.
like this, next to them.
Oh, that's really nice. That's also nice.
It's nice for everyone apart from like the two people who don't know what they're talking about, who are then just sat in my chat going, who is this? And then I have to be like, there's this other person who calls pineapples flamboyant potatoes. And then I have to try and give context.
I'm sorry, I meant to clarify. This is really nice for me.
Yeah.
This is obviously quite inconvenient for you, and I'm glad that you've taken the time in this interview to use this as a time to point it out.
I've got to vent somewhere, okay?
You could have
I can't
texted me.
afford a therapist.
It's not that difficult. That's fine.
So, basically, at the beginning of the pandemic, you decided to take the stage show to Twitch, just specifically to mean your emotes would flood my chat and
Yeah,
drive me mad for
specifically to spite you, I staged a global pandemic, is what I did.
I was just going to say the Twitch channel, but if you want to
I
take credit
went
for the whole of
to
that,
Wuhan. I coughed on a chip, and it happened. That's why.
legal disclaimers.
This
happening
is more
somewhere.
satire. We're doing it. It's happening. Satire's not dead. It's just shit now.
Well, it will be if you cough on it.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
It translated incredibly well.
No,
You
it's-
took a computer game-based thing from the stage to YouTube to the stage and then back onto a screen.
Yeah, and it was it's a wonderful thing to do, and yeah, it's had a whole bunch of effects that I didn't necessarily realise. Things like when I did the show for 48 hours for charity, and then the next year we did it for 50 hours. And I don't remember any content. No one who saw the shows remembers any content, but a lot of stuff happened for charity, and it was real good.
Because you do a variety of shows. You don't
Yeah.
just do the Dark Room. That's
No.
one of your main ones, obviously. But you've been playing a bunch of computer games as well. I've watched you do terrifying things in Hitman,
Oh,
which
yeah.
are never the objective of Hitman. I think the room where you just piled all the people up and then put a grenade underneath them, was
Yep.
it? Or yeah.
It was 3 grenades.
It was-
Yeah. Hitman.
It's like modern art, but also very worrying.
Well, yeah, we were just redecorating the interior of a room. It was just with various people's viscera, so I don't see the problem. But Hitman is a great game based on the idea of precision, and it would just be better if it didn't care about that at all, because I don't. So we knocked everybody out with fish, dragged them all into one room,
Cool,
and then
fish.
placed three
That's where I go
three
wrong.
explosives underneath them and killed everybody in one go. And I was delighted to receive a score of 0 for that, having apparently accomplished nothing the game wanted me to do, but we got some good content out of that, I tell you.
I think the game just didn't appreciate your artistic
Yeah, the Hitman's very funny, but it doesn't like jokes at its expense. Diana, why did I dress as a clown in this level and kill everyone with a samurai sword? Because I have undiagnosed energy issues, mate, and I don't have the time to play a game that's literally, I'm walking very slowly.
Sneak,
I'm walking very slowly.
sneak, sneak.
Nobody saw me do it. No, hell, I want everyone to see me do it. It's amazing. It's like everything I do.
I think this same I'm just going to call it sense of humour rather than worrying sort of subset of thoughts that are now making me reconsider our friendship, is one of the reasons why one of the games I have seen you play so often on Antstream is Puzzle-O Poco.
Yes!
Because I mean, my first time playing that game it just sort of almost became a bit of a meme. It's been shared by Antstream, it's been shared by other people. My shocked face as the little cat drowns, and just, I was not coping.
Yep.
You, however, just the glee.
Oh, I lost my mind.
It was
I
terrifying.
couldn't believe what I was seeing because I was having such a nice time going through and finding arcade games that I knew, and then just scrolling through, because at that time I'd gotten quite back into Bust a Move, right? I was very excited, and then there I was like, well, that looks like it. That looks like Bust a Move. It's a knockoff. Yes.
Oh, it's not.
It is though. Anyway, you know, and then I'm there like, oh, and here's a little cat. And then I'm sort of like, oh, and in the background there's some water and there's some fish.
Lovely music, very chill, lovely.
And then you're gradually realising, no, the cat is under the sea. The cat is under the sea. The cat, we're the only thing stopping the cat from drowning. And then when it dies, the animation is ridiculously graphic. The music is incredibly sad. Between that and Sonic drowning, endless animal-related trauma.
They saw Sonic drowning and went, that's a good idea.
Yeah, what if we had it float up to the top? That's
With little crosses.
That's the element. The part where it's clearly dead and it does this. Oh, I owned goldfish when I was a boy. It reminded me.
It reminded you of your goldfish. Okay.
I had a cat when I was a boy too. It reminded me of that as well.
No pets.
This is satire. This is satire.
I'm worried this isn't. So, what other games have you been enjoying recently that don't involve drowning cats?
I really hate to say this based on how this conversation's been going, but gee, those Jack the Ripper text adventures are pretty fun, aren't they?
I may just send this video to your therapist.
Oh, don't. He gets enough of me. He doesn't want to see the rest of the work.
So, text adventures featuring Jack the Ripper. Have you played? Because I played recently. There is a Star Trek parody text adventure on Antstream.
What?
It's called Star Wreck. Captain James T. Cake.
Oh, got him. Oh.
Mr. Spark.
I get that.
It is
crap.
Terrible.
Yeah, it sounds really.
It's you got trails instead of triples.
I bet they had to keep adding this is satire just so people remembered it was meant to be funny.
It's terrible, but also amazing because I can't stop playing it. And I need to find out how to get to the end of it. Because it does that text adventure thing where you're like, get thing, no. Pick up thing, no. What is the exact word I need?
Yep.
I drew a nice big map, classic style, you know, where you go through and you go, right, so to the right is this, to the left is this, but I'm dyspraxic, so my map's just constantly wrong. And it's just covered in arrows as I point where my rooms are all supposed to be. And I'm trying to find my way around, but it's over multiple floors of the starship. I've renamed my starship the USS Swiss Cheese because I'm not very good with a phaser. And the integrity of the whole has been sort of getting lower and lower the further I go through my playthrough. I've also managed to disintegrate the ambassador. We were supposed to be relocating, let several monsters out onto the loose. The trails are currently multiplying. They're dancing at the moment.
How long have you worked for the British government, out of interest? The ambassador's dead.
Yeah, longer than they'd like.
The integrity's on the way down.
Yeah, they'd like it if I stopped shooting holes in the
I don't think they would like it if you stopped shooting holes in things.
It aerates the place. It just gives
We
it a
need
nice
that these
open
days. That's
plan
important.
feel. I thought that's what starships needed, was more airflow. Yeah. It stops it feeling all that stuffy grey corridors. You know, I thought, no, let's put open plan this joint.
Well, look,
okay.
I've seen every single episode of Star Trek that's ever been made, and I can tell you what starships need more than anything else. Acting lessons. What are you talking about? My God! Anyway, I like that could have been at least 3 different people in the history of Star Trek just then. What are we talking about?
Text adventures, mostly.
Text adventures are bloody great.
You should check out Star Trek.
That sounds...
As a fellow Star Trek fan, you're gonna need to discover. Also, I just want someone else to suffer with this. There's loads of good, like, you know, text adventures, point and click adventures, but I'm not going to recommend those. I'm just going to recommend this one because it is the worst possible thing.
The Jack the Ripper one is appalling in every way. You can get the one, like, well, let's just put it this way. there's 8-bit graphics, and then there's just, we gave it a go. And
Star Trek just has a couple of blocks of colour. A thing that looks like a tree, and then a description that doesn't help you.
I wish that that's what the Jack the Ripper the ones had, because so help me, of course, obviously the first thing that happens is you find a dead body, and seeing that with blip bloop, blip bloop, blip bloop behind it, and then based on what graphics card you chose to use, what terrible, terrible sort of mosaic version of a murder victim. Like, that when we played that on stream, my chat were genuinely more disturbed by that than just about anything else we've seen. And it was horrifying, also in the best possible traditions. One, for a start, this thing shouldn't exist. But two, in the best traditions of a text adventure, right? You walk down one wrong alley at the start, and you get stabbed and you die. It's like, yes! Which was great, because when I was playing it at the start, I was like, please tell me we're not playing as Jack the Ripper. I don't want to be as Jack. And I was like, oh, thank God he killed us. What a relief. Free of the moral burden.
I've been left with moral burden after playing Star Trek, because the first thing you do when you get to the bridge is it said there was there's the torpedo controls.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So I was just like, fire torpedo, and the text just comes up and it says, you have fired a torpedo, you had no target, this is now going out through the depths of space, hope it doesn't hit an inhabited planet. And I'm there like, oh no, what have I done, and why am I going to do it again?
Oh, that's perfect. Tell you what, if I'd made that game, I would now the game would remember that. You would get right near the end of it, and then the torpedo would hit your ship.
The planet you're trying to get to would be exploded.
Yeah. Gasp.
I haven't got there yet, so it could still happen.
I hope it does. Fingers crossed. I hope that for you.
Thank
Fingers
you.
crossed.
Thank you. You're a good friend. So when you're not, I don't know if it's murdering people or saving people from being murdered, either on stage
they
or
don't
in
know
text
either.
adventures. What other games are you enjoying retro-wise on Antstream at the moment?
Metal Slug?
Yeah. Which version?
You know, I don't even know. I just get incredibly pleased.
They're all beautiful.
Yes. That was the thing. Like, when I was a kid, you would go and you would see Street Fighter and you would see all manner of things, and then there were just these ones where the graphics were just better than everything else.
They're
the pixel art was just
expressive.
Yeah, like between like finding like an old Neo Geo thing and then looking at like laughing wildly at World Heroes, and then being like, my God, what is this King of Fighters? What do you mean there's 3 people fighting each other? All of this, and then the bloody joy of Metal Slug. You know, so many games have been made in which war is depicted as something fun and enjoyable, and only one of those games has I ever agreed with, and it is Metal Slug.
It does it in the most fun way, with the cutest, most fun to destroy aliens as well.
And as my wife said the first time she saw me playing it in the house, she was looking at all the troops and she went, gee, guess who these guys are meant to be? Which was great. It's like, oh, John, that X in that white circle there, what do you reckon? Who do you think they are? And yeah, it was great.
What other ones have you enjoyed recently when you're not drowning cats?
Other than not drowning cats, I gave elevator action a go, because I was on stream, and when we're scrolling through everything, right, people get very excited for what they see. You know, like the Commodore 64 people get like super excited. Like, my God, are those
Spectrum people get angry? Yeah.
Yeah, are those some llamas? What's going on there? You know, they get real thrilled. But I lost my mind for the fact that there was a game called Elevator Action, and I was just like, we must see whatever this is, and then Elevator Action, is it Returns?
Yes.
Like, if you don't know what those games are in any way, those titles will bloody drag you in. You know, I was like, well, we're getting up in the lift, kids. No escalators or stairs for us. And then it turned out to be this fun James Bond bloody romp.
So good.
Falling out the plane.
Returns is such a massive upgrade. I love the first one, but Returns is just the graphics and the range of weapons in that is so good. And you get nearer the end and there's like people flying on jetpacks, and you just...
Imagine getting near the end.
I play the challenges. People send me challenges from later levels. So,
well done.
So that helps.
Yeah, my favourite thing to do on Antstream, to be honest with you, is I play a game for about 5.5 minutes, get frustrated, like with Horace, which I despise, and any other variation on Horace. And what I do is I go in and play it until I can't stand it anymore, which will take a few seconds, and then I can turn around and go, according to this scoreboard, I'm the 39th best in the world, and that's a great feeling. I don't wish to achieve anything higher. No one send me any challenges. Horace goes skiing. Horace, what are the Horace ones? Horace goes skiing, Horace and the
goes to the
spiders,
shops, Horace
goes
goes
to
down the
rehab,
street, Horace goes
Horace
to the
gets
park,
underneath
yeah.
my boot, Horace gets stomped to bloody death by John Robertson. Yeah,
Lesser known titles, those ones, but yeah.
they should have all been lesser known. They were a
Did you know-
mistake.
Speaking of scoreboards, that I was #1 for Puzzle-O-Pockle for some time, which meant I drowned the cat either the most or the least, depending on how you think about it.
I'll let you know. I did know that because people kept coming into my Twitch chat and bloody telling me. Oh, we
I was
spam your
very
one with our remotes, but everyone comes in and goes, Trista's real good at this game, John. Don't drown the cat. Then I drowned the cat.
In the game, yeah.
Oh, yes,
clarify.
game.
Just clarify.
Games.
Excellent. So if people want to see you murdering people, drowning cats,
This is a very good
other
point.
very wholesome family type things. There's also a darkroom for kids variant of the show.
I'm
where
a
we'll
published
kill your
children's
children.
author. I don't know how this interview happened.
You got on a train and you came here voluntarily. So that's the story we're sticking with. So if people want to see you, murdering people and drowning cats and all sorts of other terrifying things like that, where can they find you?
This has all been most distressing. You could find me at twitch.tv/Robbotron, ROBBOTRON. Also touring live everywhere these days, which is nice, at thejohnrobertson.com/live dates.
Excellent, excellent. So if you would like to be traumatized by this lovely man, or for the sake of comedy, you can find him at those locations, and I look forward to seeing you drown more cats on Antstream on your stream soon.